pulled this one out of the archives before I came up here, just threw all my poetry all over the ground and found this one. So I woke up today and I was late. And my mind was already speeding around town going 55 and a 35. And I jumped out of bed and I hit the ground running and I tripped. And I said out loud, "Who left a resentment laying on the floor today?" I guess it's going to be one of those days today. And I bent over and picked up the resentment and threw it over my shoulder. Now I had to get dressed, so I went to the closet and yep, it was laundry day, of course. And I was forced to do the smell test. I think this one's clean and this one's clean too. And let me put it all on and find some shoes that match. Spray some smell good on and just go, you know. So I grabbed my keys in my wallet and I headed out the door. And I got to my car and said, no, not today. My tire was flat, so I had to call AAA. And I was trying to get to a business meeting that wasn't anyone's business, and AAA never showed up, so I had to give them an A-. And that resentment I was carrying was getting heavier and heavier, so I started walking, thinking that if I was driving, that business meeting would only be 12 red lights away. I'm an optimistic guy, what can I say? And I was getting closer, but those resentments were causing so much pain in my back, and I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't know what to do except keep moving forward. And I looked down and checked the time. Instead, I watched my feet drag, creating divots in the ground. And then I heard something in the distance, and I looked up, and there was nothing. No one in front of me. And I turned around, and behind me was a man with his back facing me, hunched over the ground. And I walked up to him and put my hand on his back with a real gentle touch. And he didn't move at first, but then reached into his pocket and pulled out a very small paintbrush. And I couldn't see what he was doing, but he started painting on the front of his shirt. He turned around and I read it out loud. "Words must be spoken clearly. How would you define yourself? Poetryless or poetry?" And I started to cry and he started speaking, but I couldn't understand a single word. And I looked at his face for the first time and took 2 steps back and started shaking. And I said, "I can't take this anymore," because that guy had duct tape over his mouth and written on it was the word metaphor. I took my pen out of my pocket and poked a hole in the middle of the letter A so I could understand this man a whole lot better. And although he mumbled, I heard the following words spoken clearly to me that day. "Thank you. That pen of yours is an amazing key that will unlock many doors in life, dreams, writing, spirituality, inspiration, and education. And if you're ever struggling with resentments like you are today," and then he stopped and took the shirt off his back and gave it to me and continued with, "This is one of many gifts you'll get from defining yourself with poetry. And if you ever lose sight of that definition, pick up your pen and remember today and how you forgot to start the day off talking to God, my friend.